Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Masterclass Theatre. Well, we've been discussing lots of issues over the past few hours here in the theatre, and we've come to the conclusion that bus operators and coach operators are facing many challenges these days. And of course, you have to meet all of the challenges facing your business whilst keeping on the right side of the rules and regulations that govern the industry. During this session, Spencer Miller, Enforcement Policy Manager with the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency, will be providing essential guidance to help you comply with industry regulations, including PSVAR. It's your chance to get up to speed on what the latest standards are. Please welcome Spencer Miller.
Thank you. Mic on? Yep, okay. Thank you everyone. As that brilliant introduction was, welcome to the Navigating Compliance session from DVSA. My name is Spencer Miller. I work at the Enforcement Policy team in DVSA. My team is responsible for writing and maintaining policies, procedures and instructions that our enforcement teams use at the roadside. Can I just get a brief idea, so I may be able to tailor the session slightly. Can I get a brief idea of who's in the audience? Have we got operators? Would you mind? Excellent, okay. Drivers? Any drivers that do school services? Line up for your medal if you do. Okay. Any trade bodies? Consultants? And judges? No? Okay. Right, okay, thank you. So, what I'm going to be talking to you about today is a bit about how our enforcement is done. Going to be going through an inspection of a vehicle, what operators can and drivers can expect at the roadside. A bit about a visit to an operating centre where our enforcement teams may visit an operator and that sort of thing. And in particularly in connection with, as with the introduction, Public Service Vehicle Accessibility Regulations, or PSVAR. We like an acronym in this industry, don't we? I'm also going to be looking at medium-term exemptions in connection with PSVAR and some enforcement that we've been doing around that. And then we're going to move on to what we like to call AIR, the Public Service Vehicle Accessible Information Regulations. So now you know why we call it AIR and not by its full name. Touch on bus open data, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we're making it easier for our customers to engage with us. So I'll kick off with PSVAR compliance checks. So I'm sure we all agree that people with disabilities should be able to travel on public transport with confidence and with dignity. And the PSVAR, or the regulations, the PSVAR, is essential in making that happen. Now, I know this. You've also told me that there's operators in the audience today. Now, I know many operators have worked really hard to bring their fleets into compliance with this, and in turn helping people with disabilities to travel just as easy as everyone else. But what we need to do is we need to get when I started that sentence, I said most operators. Our goal is that all operators need to work hard to bring their fleets into compliance. So that's why it's essential that we conduct our checks at the operating centres, at roadside, bus depots, that sort of thing. So if I can just go through, for the operators out there and the drivers, what you can expect if you are the subject of an inspection. Now this will take slightly different turns depending on if it's at the operating centre or maybe it's at the roadside. Or at a bus depot. But this is, and I can't go into huge detail, but this is a snapshot of what you would receive. So the first thing our examiner would do, or our enforcement examiner do, was look at the technical records of the vehicle. Now all our examiners are equipped with DVSA-issued smartphones where they can access the technical records of the vehicle that's in front of them. That technical record will tell them about the approval and the testing of that vehicle and what features were in the vehicle at the time of approval. And armed with this information, our examiner can then start to take a visual look at the vehicle inside and out to look for anything that may have been altered that could affect the way it goes. So the type of thing we'll be looking for is hand and grab rails. And are they contrasting? Are they all where they should be? Is there none missing? And are they secure? After that, we'll probably look around for the route numbers. Are the route numbers displayed in the right place? The destination displays, front and side, in the right place and doing their job. Lifts and ramps that are operational, and that the ramps and the lift area, as you can see in the picture there, that contrasting edging is in place and can be seen quite easily. Also, any slip-resistant material is in good condition. Steps, walkways, gangways, similar thing. We'll be looking for where it needs it. The contrasting edging is in the right place. Slip-resistant material, that sort of thing is all in good condition. Kneeling suspension system, where fitted, needs to obviously be operational. And it needs to be able to be operated from near the cab where the driver is. We need to make sure that the wheelchair space that was there at approval is still there, and that there's the necessary signage on the exterior of the vehicle, on the interior of the vehicle. Signage that tells the user which way round the wheelchair should go, whether it's rearward facing or frontward. And obviously, if it's forward facing, that there's a sufficient restraint system, tracking on the floor, etc., to do its job. And then, as important as all of that is that the driver knows how to use all of the equipment on the vehicle. The driver knows how to restrain a forward-facing wheelchair, that sort of thing. So really, that's a really quick snapshot of how one of our inspections would go. Obviously, it takes a lot longer than what I've just spoke through, but that's about it. That's the sort of thing, and the reason these are on here is because there are areas that we found issues in the past. So this is from our experience what operators need to look at and what we need to look at when we're conducting our inspections. So that brings me on to, linked to that is medium-term exemptions for PSVAR. Now, we know that PSVAR medium-term exemptions were issued so that vital services such as home to school and rail replacement can continue while operators put in place what they need to become compliant. Now, the DFT contacted us this year and said, we don't really know what the level of compliance out there, how it's going, that sort of thing. So we've conducted some remote enforcement to start with, where we contacted, or we are still in the process of contacting all operators that were given a medium-term exemption. So as you can see, when this slide was done, we had contacted 1,554 operators. We had just over 1,000 responses. And from those responses, 214 said, we no longer need our medium-term exemption, you can take it back, we are fully compliant, and we're going to be fully compliant in the future. 754 have confirmed, or we have confirmed that they are compliant with their medium-term exemption and will be going forward. However, 271 told us that at some point in the future, one of the deadlines, they will not be compliant. So that's the sort of thing now we'll be going back to and reinvestigating them. We will be probably giving the operator a ring first to make sure that they didn't tick a box inadvertently, that a no instead of a yes. And once we've done that, we're then going to be talking to the operators and finding out what they mean by the fact that they won't be compliant. And that's a really important information that we can feed back to DFT. I'm sure everyone will, all the operators in the audience will agree with that. So, leads me on to regulations that came in October of last year for all new vehicles first used on a route, is the PSV Accessible Information Regulations, or AIR, as I said at the beginning. So we're going to be enforcing this in pretty much the same way as the medium-term exemptions. So we're going to be writing out to operators to ask them how they're getting on with it and what's going on. The first thing we need I need to tell operators out there to put their mind at rest is that we was alerted by DFT to a bottleneck in the equipment that's needed for this regulation to be complied with, and also fitters or engineers' time to fit it, and that there was possibly going to be a problem. So what we've agreed with DFT is that if operators put in an order for the equipment in reasonable time before the deadline, that the fitters or the company that's carrying out the work has given a date for fitment, and that you can evidence that, we will suspend enforcement action against those operators until after that date. Now, that's something we've agreed with the Department for Transport, something that we'll be going forward with. So the enforcement of this will, as I say, very similar to the medium-term exemptions, where we will be sending out a self-declaration form for you to fill in, tell us how you're getting on with it, where you're going to be, and any problems that you're going to have in the future. If you let us know, if you talk to us, then we can pass that information back to the Department for Transport. So, leads me on to something, another subject now, which is bus open data. So what problem is BODS trying to solve? Well, basically it aims to improve the quality of service of information for passengers, so that passengers can make informed decisions about their travel. And in turn, this will improve passenger satisfaction and give better trust in public transport, which will hopefully then increase passenger numbers. So let's talk about the state of compliance at the moment with BODS. So if we wind the clock back to 2020, 2021, we started contacting operators to remind them of their obligation with bus open data. We did that throughout 20 and 2021, which is obviously memorable for different reasons. But if we fast forward then to 2022, 23, and into this year, we realized that some operators had not published or not even signed up to the service. So that was something we undertook, and we contacted all operators that had a local route and that had not even signed up to the service, because current regulations state that operators must be signed up to and providing data as the current regulations say. So any operators that at that point, end of last year into this year, that were not supplying or signed up to and supplying data as they should have been, we gave a 3-month window for them to become compliant, at which time, at the end of the 3 months, we reported those operators to the Office of the Traffic Commissioner. But in conjunction with us, the Office of the Traffic Commissioner are also contacting operators to remind them of their obligation and to also speak to them about their compliance. So this is something that's ongoing. So where we are now is 85% of operators are now publishing data. But unfortunately, not all operators are publishing everything they should be publishing. And if they are, unfortunately, it's not quite correct and in a timely manner like it should be. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on going forward, is that operators are publishing the data they should be publishing, and that it's in a timely manner, and it takes note of any alterations to the registered service. So what are the benefits to BODS? I'm sure some of you are asking. Well, we spoke about it a bit in the beginning, but the Bus Open Data Service also has an extension to it, which is ABODS, Analysis of Bus Open Data. But that enables users to gain valuable insight into the performance of their bus services, example, punctuality. But it might be correct for me to tell operators out there now that we at DVSA currently are not using ABODS for evidence of punctuality. What we are doing is looking at that you're supplying the data and that you're double checking that data. If there's a discrepancy, that you're telling us and you can evidence to us in a visit why that data doesn't match your own analysis. So, additional steps that operators can take with BODs to show that you are complying is to regularly review the health of the data to fix data quality issues. There are features available in BODs to understand what actions should be taken to improve the quality of the data. And operators will need to make the appropriate steps to address these and be able to evidence them if asked. You need to ensure you have continual maintenance of the BODs data to reflect any changes that are made in the registration of your services. And finally, the BODs team are on hand to provide one-to-one support with operators meeting their legal obligations, so please seek support if needed. So that's Bus Open Data. Now, many of the operators out there will know that we conduct bus compliance visits. These bus compliance visits we aim to conduct every 2 years, but earlier if complaints are received to the DVSA. And these compliance visits, this is again a snapshot of what you would go through if you receive a compliance visit. Now, we use a report, or our examiners use a report and a scoring guide for this visit, which is the Bus Compliance Assessment Report, BCAR for short. And our BCAR is no secret. It's out there if anyone wants a copy of it, so that operators know what to expect when the DVSA come knocking on the door. That's no problem at all. In fact, I believe CPT have it on their website, yeah? Great, okay, thank you. So please, if you're a CPT member, go to the website and download a copy. It'll give you an insight in what to expect if you get a visit from us. If not, come and see us and we'll be happy to get a copy to you. So, what we were looking for is local authority engagement, that you conduct engagement with them for any improvement plans that are needed and partnerships working. We're going to be asking the operator if they're aware of the Senior Traffic Commissioner's guidance, because you'll be surprised how many people actually say, yes, we know about it, but we don't know what it says. We don't expect people to know it word for word. I certainly don't, but we'd like you to know where you can access it and maybe the main parts that are relevant to your business. Monitoring systems, that you have monitoring systems for your punctuality and other parts of your business. And again, this monitoring system that you have for your punctuality, please make sure, as I said in the slide before, that if it doesn't match with what Bus Open Data is saying, that you have evidence of that you've tried to contact the support desk and you've tried everything you can to find out why it doesn't match. That evidence is then invaluable to you if you get a visit from the DVSA. So complaints. What we need to see, and if there's a bus there to inspect at the time when we're at an operated centre, and I'm sure you'd be happy if there wasn't any buses, because that means they're all out conducting business, which is what you want. But if there is a bus there, we're going to be looking for the legal lettering so that we can see that, that your customers can see where to complain to and the address to complain to. But we're also going to look at the operating centre and the operator at how you deal with your complaints. Driver training. We're going to be asking you to show us what sort of driving training you supply for your drivers. And drivers, if we stop a vehicle or if we see a vehicle and there's a driver, we're going to be asking the driver to explain to us what sort of training and how often it is there any refresher training, that sort of thing. Contingencies. We're going to be looking that you have enough vehicles to meet your peak demand, and that drivers, you have enough drivers to meet your peak demand. Now, we live in the real world, and we know that there are people that work within the operation that are also drivers and that can be used as such. And there's nothing wrong with that. It would be unrealistic for us to say that you shouldn't be using drivers from other areas of the business. But we would like to make sure that it doesn't impact the rest of the business. If it's a short journey, perhaps a school run in the morning, probably fine. If it's someone that's in the office and that's the only person that's in the office, so when they go out driving, the office is closed and there's no one to answer the phones and take complaints, probably not so good. So it's that sort of thing we're looking for. So we are in the real world. We do understand that drivers are part of the rest of the business as well. So, a few months ago, we decided to make it easier for our customers to engage with us. And as with the aim, when you make it easier for people to contact you, they certainly do. So as you can see there, we've put in a system of a callback of how you would like to be contacted. This is to our customers. And as you can see, we have various different ways that we will contact a customer back to take their query or their complaint. We also have a report a bus or coach service or driver. I'm sure many of you have seen this, but we've now split that into sections. So at first we split it from trucks and buses, but we now have a dedicated complaint form for PSVAR, or all accessibility complaints. Now, we also have, and I don't know if everyone's visited our stand, but we've also started supplying leaflets. This one is for drivers, operators, customers. And we have a guide to operating with compliance within PSVAR there, which please come by our stand and pick one up if you haven't already got one. But we've also got an online guidance of features and help for disabled people, which tells customers what they should expect, what features should be on the bus, and what sort of help they should expect from a driver. So, as I said, if you make it easier for people to contact, they certainly do. So this is from August this year. Prior to August this year, we received 12 complaints in 18 months about accessibility. Since August, we've received 43. No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. We've raised 43 cases for further investigation. So we received more than 43, but some of them couldn't be raised for, we didn't have enough information, that sort of thing. But of the 43 that we've raised, as you can see, by far the largest complaint is help getting on or off a bus, followed by ramps and lifts, and then route or destination displayed and so on. If you want more information about that, please come and see us. We obviously can't give you details of the investigations, or etc., but we can certainly talk to you more about the individual parts of those. Some of those, the eagle-eyed mathematicians in the audience will have already spotted that totals more than 43. That's because some operators, some drivers frantically tick every box because they're so angry. But there may be more than one area of complaint for each investigation. So anyway, that's the work we're doing. So those 43 are out there now being investigated. I was told before I came on stage today, it's hugely different. It's much more than that now. He's mouthing it to me, but there's a lot more, yeah? Okay. So that just leaves me, the last slide, is to remind operators that last week we updated our guide to maintaining roadworthiness, and we've released a new version on the 5th of November. That guide talks really more about HGVs in this release, but there are some items about maintenance and about using external maintenance providers. And as you can see, we've also now got it as a PDF as well as HTML. So, thank you very much for listening. If you have any burning questions, please come and visit us on Stand 318. We'll be happy to talk to you. We have experts in pretty much every area of what I've just spoken about and more on our stand. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Spencer. And as he says, if you want to ask questions of them, they're on stand 318.